Welcome. Today's class is a restorative class, and we'll start with a little bit of movement before we get into longer holds. But the intention of this class is to really focus around the core of the body, specifically the rib cage, the muscles that if you sort of think about like a 360 degree circumference around your lungs. So that includes the muscles and also the bones that support breathing. That's going to be our focus today. So it's sort of this liberation of the lungs, if you will. Okay, so we'll start with some movement. Go ahead and actually, before we get started, just so that you have all the props that you need ahead of time, go ahead and grab 2 pillows, a towel, a bolster or a rolled up blanket, and an extra blanket. And then if you'd like something to cover your eyes, that's usually a nice thing to have during restorative as well. Okay, so you can pause this and go ahead and grab your props and come on back. We'll begin standing up, and I'm not going to be mirroring you here, so listen more to my words than the visual cues. I'll be doing the same variation to each side as you, so it'll be the reverse. Okay, so go ahead and find your standing position. Take your feet about hip-width distance apart. And with your eyes open, gaze down at your feet. Lift all 10 toes up off the floor. And then spread the toes as wide as you can. And intentionally place them back down on the floor. And with that connection between your feet and the earth, close your eyes. And really feel the space between the floor and the soles of the feet. A grounding sensation. Feel it lifting up through the legs, through the spine, all the way out the crown of the head so that you lift up a little bit taller. And breathe. So there's this dynamic movement between a rooting downward of the feet and a lifting upward of the crown of the head. Take a full inhale, pause at the top of your breath. Open mouth, exhale. We'll take 2 more breaths like that. Big inhale, fill up. And let it go. 1 more breath in. And release. And open your eyes. As you inhale, lift your arms overhead. Interlace your palms. Your fingertips, press your palms up towards the ceiling. So keep the legs nice and strong, stable. Ground into the feet, ground the pelvis. And as you inhale, lift up and over towards the right with your upper body. Pause at the top of your inhale, hold here, and see if you can get a little bit more space between the ribs. Exhale. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, lift up and over towards the left. Pause at the bottom of the breath, find a little more space between each rib. Lengthen tailbone down towards the floor so that the low back is neutral. Inhale up to center. Exhale, twist from the waist upwards towards the right. Keep the pelvis facing forward. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Good, we'll repeat that full sequence. Take a big breath in, lengthen up through the chest, through the hands. Exhale, lift up and over towards the right. Use your Ujjayi breath, inhale in. Exhale, up and over towards the left. Ujjayi breath, that audible sound, oceanic sound, breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Release your hands, and as you exhale, fold from your hips. Take your fingertips down to the floor. You can bend your knees if you'd like to, and just pedal out your feet. Let your hips sway side to side. And feel the crown of the head release towards the floor. Good. Come down to your knees. The first restorative pose that we'll do is a supported child's pose. So depending on how your knees feel, you may want to place a pillow between the thighs and the calves, or you might want to sit up on a block or a folded blanket. But take your knees nice and wide, your big toes touch, and then with a bolster, sort of saddle up to the bolster. I'm actually going to use an extra pillow so that I can create a little bit of a ramp with my bolster. It just feels better in my body. But depending on how open your hips are, you might not need this. So go ahead and set up your prop situation. And then with a really long spine, walk your chest out over the bolster. Send the tailbone and the hips back. So it's like integrating the thigh bone into the socket. And then go ahead and lie down over your bolster. Take either cheek down and sort of snuggle up around your pillow and your bolster. And once you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. I will give you a cue for when we're halfway through the pose so that you can switch to the other cheek. Know that it takes your body a little while to adjust, so if there are any micro adjustments that you need to make in order to feel more comfortable, more restful, please go ahead and do that. There's really 4 key qualities to a restorative practice that make it really impactful, really restful. And those are stillness, quiet, darkness, and warmth. And so we do exactly what we can in order to create those optimal conditions. You can think of this restorative practice as a sort of gateway into meditation. And very gently switch to the other cheek. the last few moments of this pose, can you really direct your breath into the back of the body? So with every inhale, feel the space along the back ribs, the kidneys, sort of spreading and expanding. And with every exhale, feel as though any tension that you're holding can roll off of the sides of the body, roll off the spine down to the floor. So with each breath in, you can feel the back of the body opening up. With each breath out, let something fall off your back. Take 2 more full rounds of breath just like this. And bring your hands down to the mat underneath your shoulders, and before moving any major part of the body, just spread the fingers really wide and feel the connection between the hands and the floor. Gently press yourself up. Come forward to tabletop. Extend the left foot back, press the ball of the foot into the floor, stretch the heel back. This feels nice to open up the backs of the legs after that closed knee shape. Other leg, press the right foot back. Good. Next we'll set up for a reclined Supta Baddha Konasana. So you can leave your bolster ramp as it is, and if you don't have your bolster in the shape of a ramp, go ahead and place either blocks underneath it or a pillow to prop it up. And let's see, I'm actually going to prop mine up a little bit higher. Sometimes this is like, it's like architecture class on our yoga mats, just making everything just right. Okay, take the base of your sacrum to the bottom of your bolster, and then with a blanket or a towel, roll it up into a tight wrap. Bring the soles of the feet together and take that blanket roll over the feet and then tuck the ends underneath the legs. So you may need to change the direction of the roll if it's not quite long enough. And then if this isn't working for you, you can always put pillows under your knees. That works just fine. All right, go ahead and lie back over your bolster ramp. And you'll know as soon as you lie down if you need extra support for your head, which I do. Because it will feel like your head is falling off the bolster. You don't want that. You really want the head and the neck to feel supported. So go ahead, take your time and get situated. And we'll be here a bit longer than the previous pose. We'll be here for about 6 minutes. So go ahead and do whatever you need to get nice and comfortable. And once you are comfortable, close your eyes. With the eyes closed, scan your body from your feet all the way to the crown of the head. Move slowly, just observing where in the body you might be holding on to tension. And as you use your breath, as you work with your breath, you might consciously release that tension with exhales. Imagine that every inhale brings awareness or light to where that tension is being held. And the exhale carries the tension out of the body. As you scan the body progressively up from the feet, you may notice more than one area holding tension. You can just repeat this cycle. Bring your attention to your scapula and shoulder blades, and just notice how they connect to the bolster. And can you very gently find a little space to squeeze the shoulder blades a little closer together, and then release any muscular effort. And then just notice what that action does for the front of the chest. You might feel a little bit more space between the front of the right shoulder all the way across the chest to the front of the left shoulder. And then move your awareness down your arms, both arms, all the way down to the hands. Notice connection points between the back of the hands and the floor. And imagine that you're holding a spherical shape, sort of a spherical globe-like weight in each hand. You can sort of feel a heaviness in the palm of your hands. And keep that feeling of heaviness in the palm of the hands while you move attention back to the space of the chest. And can you notice a sort of lightness in the chest? An openness, spaciousness in the chest. For the last few moments of this pose, just be aware of this simultaneous and opposite sensation of heaviness in the hands and a lightness in the chest. And with this spaciousness in the chest, start to direct your breath into that space. Just slow, deep breaths. So much space that it might even lift and expand the abdomen as you inhale. Bring awareness back to the hands and lightly brush the thumb against the fingertips. Then bring your hands to the outer thighs and assist the knees closed. And just take a moment, bring the hands to the tops of the thighs, and then with the heel of the hand, press the thigh away from the low belly. So you might feel a really nice release on the low back here. And let that go. Gently roll over to either the right or the left side and press yourself up to a seat. Take the right hip to the base of your bolster. This is a variation of deer pose. You might like to take that blanket and put it underneath your left knee, your left leg. And you probably don't need your headrest here. With a really long abdomen, go ahead and lay the belly out over your bolster and bring either the right or the left cheek to your bolster. We won't be here very long. It's just a nice counter twist, very gentle counter twist to that feeling of a back bend. Continue to use your awareness on your breath, awareness of your breath, and guide the breath down the left side of the back. Almost as if you're breathing into the left kidney. And press your hands onto the mat, lift your upper body, and switch to the other side. Take the left hip to the base of the bolster. Twist the upper body over the bolster and then lie down on the bolster. And again, direct your breath to the right side of your back, your right kidney. Place your hands on the floor, lift yourself up, untwist, and then take your feet about as wide as your mat. Take your hands behind you on the floor, and then with a long abdomen, just windshield wiper your knees very gently from side to side. Just a couple times. If you'd like, you can come to Shavasana now to finish your practice. If you'd rather finish your practice with pranayama, I'll guide you through some breath work. So go ahead and come to a seat. I like to sit up on something, that comfortable seat, so that hips are above the knees. You can sit however is comfortable for you. You could even sit in a chair if that's more comfortable for you. Go ahead, take your hands onto your thighs, your knees. Close your eyes. Take a couple natural deep breaths. Feeling the shoulders stack over the hips. Feel the crown of the head centered over the base of the spine. And just like you did at the beginning of practice, from the base of the spine, feel a rooting downwards. And feel an elevation or a lift from the crown of the head upwards. And you might find a sort of tug of war, or a meeting point between these two energies at the space of the heart. So from the space of the heart to the base of the spine, feel a downward movement. From the space of the heart to the crown of the head, feel a rising upward. Bring awareness to the right hand and take the index and middle fingers to the base of the thumb. Practice alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. Beginning with the left nostril, just do one balanced breath, both nostrils. Inhale through both nostrils. And exhale through both nostrils. Take the thumb to the right nostril, inhale through the left. And close off the left nostril with the ring finger, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Continue on with your alternate nostril breathing. And as you breathe, and you notice a balance or a harmony taking place in the body, taking place in the brain between the right side and the left side. Once you're even on both sides, gently release the hand, keeping the eyes closed. Take one final breath in through both nostrils. Fill up your rib cage outward in 360 degrees. Open mouth, exhale. And bring the hands together to meet at the heart. Bow the head and open the eyes.